What's up, Tuesday afternoon nerds? It's your boy, the OGGM, coming to you mostly live from a small island off the coast of Costa Rica on this lovely spring afternoon here. It's April. It's 2023. It's the 11th day. No, the 18th day. I'm sorry. As you know, I went and had to have 5 vials of blood drawn today, and I got a really bad phlebotomist, and I am not responding well. So if I sound a little off, this is why. But in case you forgot, amongst the plethora, the whirlwind, what other big pointless words can I use? The cacophony. There's one you don't hear anymore. Cacophony. When was the last time you heard that word used? The mass exodus of news coming out of the double hitter that was D&D Direct and the what are they calling it now? The internet conference people failure thing that they had. One of the things you might have missed was the fact that they are shutting down the quote unquote official Dungeons and Dragons website and migrating everything over to D&D Beyond. Some of that has already begun. You'll notice that if you actually visit the D&D website, there is duplicates. You'll see articles there that are already on D&D Beyond. You'll see some information that has been migrated. That's a word I can use. Over to D&D Beyond as Wizards of the Coast continues the inevitable evolution of Dungeons and Dragons into the digital format that they have been telling you they're going to do since 2020. The fact that there are still people out there that don't think this is going to happen has reached the point of just stupid. So yeah, here we go. With that information out there, let us take a look at this endangered species and see what, if anything, is worth it. Because the D&D website, the official D&D website, has never been stellar. It's basically been a ad. Even in the glory days, it was just an overblown ad for stuff. And anything on there you could find elsewhere, usually better versions of. The one or two things that were always worth going on there was the maps and occasionally PDFs of older product. I don't believe either of that is on there anymore, but we will see if there's anything worth it on this article. And I can already see at least one thing, and that's these things. Everybody remember these guys? This is the comics that were based upon modules. They ran, I don't know when they originally started. I think Dungeon Magazine, Dragon Magazine. They've been floating around the interweb for a while now. These are still up. There's not a lot of them. And these look like very, very bad copies of them. But these are still up on the D&D website. I doubt they will migrate over to D&D Beyond, but you can find these pretty much anywhere, and the ones you will find are better than this. I can't see this. This is just a copy of a copy reduced to the smallest amount of information. So yeah, what else is on here? This is under media. Now this is under articles. You also have wallpapers. If you ever wanted a D&D wallpaper, with the talk about crappy D&D art, awful, not bad, awful, but I'm always gonna love this one. Eberron, yeah, that one's not bad. Awful. Tomb of Annihilation, that one is quite possibly the worst I have seen for Tomb of Annihilation. Yeah, did you just choose the worst art you had for this? So this is the article section, which has no articles. It also has D&D news, the D&D studio blog. Ooh, sage advice, your chances to ask questions of Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins, and Unearthed Arcana. What's currently in the most recent Unearthed Arcana? Well, it hasn't been updated since July 18th, 2022, because all this is now being covered in the playtest. Sage advice. Oh, this hasn't been updated since 2021. The studio blog, and not updated since 2022. And it's the thing about the space monkeys. News. This hasn't been updated since 2022. So yeah, they haven't even updated any of this article. So let's move over to media. Are the maps still there? No. Here's a link to something else. And here's another link to something else. If you ever wanted to see a D&D podcast or D&D live streams, here you go. Boring. Events. Anything going on in the events? No. Hold still. Let's see. We've got all events, virtual play weekends, extra life, player info, DM info, missed hunters. So basically, this is where you get information for the Adventures League. But since there are official sites that the Adventure Leagues run, this is, again, basically just, here is us talking about something that's being done better on another website. Ooh, the story. What's going on with the story of D&D? Well, I can't tell you because this hasn't been updated since, Rime of the Frost Maiden. Descent into Avernus. Do you have maps? Let's see. Tomb of Annihilations. No, it just tells you where I can buy Tomb of Annihilation. Maps? No. Just nope. Basically just an ad. What was this? This is story. Oh, lore. Let's see. We have lore about Drizzt. So yeah, this looks like it hasn't been updated in at least 2 years. Gameplay. Ooh, character sheets. There's something that's useful. Character sheets. Except of course we can find character sheets online. This does have the 5e pre-generated characters, so this is kind of worthwhile. You can get all the pre-generated characters that have appeared in the Adventure League stuff and the Stormwick Island stuff, and some like if you ever wanted a pre-generated barbarian or whatever, these are still available. Well, at least 3 of them are. We've got healer, mage, scoundrels, and warriors. Of course, you can also find these online. And better. So yeah, basic rules. If you don't have a copy of the basic rules, here's the SRD. Digital tools. Again, these are all things you can find. Yeah, there's nothing here. So yeah. The SRD, which we know is pointless because it's changed it. And then a list of the products. Oh, where to start. Miniatures, merchandise, fiction, customer support. So yeah, even at its best, this was basically a site you went to for character record sheets, maps, and occasionally they had PDFs of older modules. Now, all those PDFs have been migrated over to DM's Guild or other sites, so they're not in here anymore. The maps, long gone. The maps have been long gone, which is one of the best things that they ever had on here with the maps. The art definitely has gone down. I mean, we have been talking about the lack of quality in D&D art for a while, and we did an article on that. So if you wanted to see the best examples of the most current Dungeons & Dragons art, this would not be where to go, because this is just some of the worst D&D. I mean, it's not only is it just bland, it's just badly done. This is just lazy. Look at this. This is just lazy art. Just like this, there's person. Person with thing. There, I'm done. Give me my $200. Yeah, this is basically an ad for other sites. It's always been an ad for other information. Anything on here you can find within 10 seconds on the internet, and you will find better versions of it. You will find better character record sheets. You will find better maps. You will find better versions of those comics. You will find better ways to get to the DM's Guild or drive through or the Adventurer League's website. So really the only thing that this thing ever had going for it was the maps. And this is how I got the free copy of all that stuff that I got for the educator thing, which I guess, even though they said they were going to continue it this summer, it doesn't look like it's going to be continued because this website's going away. So I guess if we want to try and get another copy this summer, there'll have to be a different way to do it. Maybe through D&D Beyond. I don't know. How are we going to get all our D&D news now if this site goes away? Well, let's see. The last time the last time they actually updated any news was Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden. So that's 3 years ago? 4 years ago. This hasn't been updated in at least 3 years. So I have a feeling any D&D news we will receive the same way we always receive it, in that they'll roll Crawford and Kyle and Perkins out from whatever vat they keep them in. They will vomit out an encyclopedia worth of pointless information. Then somebody else will have to be paid an insignificant amount to go through that information to pull out the stuff that's actually worth listening to. That'll be posted on one of 100 different sites, at which point I will read those and then do the same thing I always do, take that information and translate it down to small bite-sized bits of information so that you, my listener, can actually understand what's coming out of the brain trust that is Wizards of the Coast and whether it actually affects you at all. Now, if you're one of the 5 people who are still playing 5e, God love you. I wish you nothing but the best as Wizards of the Coast continues to try and ruin 5e in its effort to create whatever it is they're calling the thing next year and the digital evolution. And I'm sorry if you are still alone on your teeny little island thinking this digital evolution of the D&D brand is not going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm sorry, it is, and this is just physical proof right here. This is gone. It's going to be going on to D&D Beyond, and then D&D Beyond will be gone because it goes to the VTT, should the VTT ever actually exist. Sidebar, remember the VTT we saw them playing at the digital thing was not real. It was a mock-up of what they think it will look like when they're done. And so far, the responses to that have been less than favorable, haven't they, ladies and gentlemen? So, yeah, there we go. I would be sad to see this site go because I used to go here for maps and stuff, but all those maps I can get in someplace else now, and I can get better copies of those maps someplace else now. So even then, the fact that this site's going away, no big deal. Oh, but what about beginners who are looking for a way to start? Wouldn't this be a great way for them to get information? This has never been a great way for them to get information. Even when it was being updated, which as we can tell, it hasn't been in a while, it has always been unbelievably difficult to navigate to look for specific information. So beginners, I guess, will be directed for D&D Beyond. And as anybody who's ever had any experience with D&D Beyond knows, it is equally as difficult to navigate. You require a PhD in computer science in order to try and find the one bit of information you need on D&D Beyond. That's why it took one guy, I kid you not, my experience with D&D Beyond, one guy, 20 minutes to figure out how he could add plus 1d6 to the damage that his character was doing because of a magic item. 20 minutes to try and figure out how to add plus 1d6 using D&D Beyond. So that is how difficult it is to navigate D&D Beyond. I only assume that once the evolution and transformation from D&D Beyond today to D&D Beyond 2024 happens, it'll be even more difficult to navigate because it is being written and programmed by people who have no idea what they're doing. And once again, everything on D&D Beyond you can find better versions of for free on the interweb. So for those of you 5e people who are still going to stick with 5e, remember that there are going to be tons of third-party 5e products still being made for as long as people can be making it. And all of it is better than anything Wizards of the Coast has made for 5e, except for possibly Mines of Fendelvin, which is still considered the best thing they've ever made for 5e. And of course, Tomb of Annihilation, which is my personal favorite. But yeah, there's tons of stuff that is still available for you that's not Wizards of the Coast that you can still use with 5e for at least another year-ish. Unfortunately, again, we still don't know. We don't know what they're going to do in 2024. We don't know. They have been incredibly vague with how they are going to change the industry and how the industry is going to respond to the change. And for those few brave companies that are still holding on, trying to support the D&D fan base, the 5e fan base, and throwing out amazing product, hopefully they will still be able to do something thanks to, ORC and Tales from the Valiant and Level Up 5e. And there just another one got announced that's called 7D20C. We'll talk about that tomorrow. So, yeah, there'll still be some 5e love out there. And somewhere on a small island, 4e is still going, hey, I'm still here. And 3e fans are going, well, the OSR's fine. We've got Castles and Crusades. So, yeah, we don't really care what you do. I mean, the only thing we ever really wanted from you guys for the past 10 years has been maps and art. So, yeah, all the old stuff we can get PDFs of, at least for now. Possibly, we don't know next year, but for now, which I guess is a segue for you that if there is an older product out there you want to get a copy of and you haven't yet, now might be the time to pick up that PDF because I don't know if any of those are going to be available next year or not. Do you care about anything I just said? Probably not, but I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I didn't report to you what's going on with the endangered species. That is the official D&D website, which even in its best has never been a good source. Again, the best thing on here was always the maps. Those are gone. So goodbye, D&D website. We will not miss you because you've been useless for the past 8 years. If you appreciate this nonsense, let me know. If you don't appreciate this nonsense, let me know. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to the OGGM Adventures, please subscribe and help me hit 2,000 subs by the end of the year. Don't forget, I have merch available floating out there in the interweb. If you want to support me, that's the best way to support me. You could head over to Big Geek Emporium and pick up all the merch I've posted there. Link down below. Or you can sign up for my brand new Patreon, which hopefully I've done correctly. Get on the official OGGM mailing list and be guaranteed at least 2 products every month. Oh, we got some comments. Like the 3.5 VPTT, which was a simple intro to D&D, it was at 4E. I don't remember. I'm sure there was one, but I don't remember which one it was. Well, here's a name I've never seen before. Dale Thompson. Dale Thompson, welcome. The lame thing about Wizards of the Coast D&D webpage is that the great old free content was blown away. Yes, that's what I've been saying. All the cool stuff is gone, but don't worry, Dale. It's still out there. It's just on other sites. You can still find all the maps. A lot of them are in DM's Guild. A lot of them are free. You can still find PDFs of most of every single solitary 4E, 3E, 2E, 1E, and 0E game product out there. Goodman Games has done a lot of them and converted a lot of them and managed to maintain a lot of them. The rest, of course, there's PDFs out there of all of them, at least for now. I don't know what's going to happen to them in the future, Dale, whether you'll be able to get that copy of, Isle of Dread or Slave Lords that you've always wanted and haven't purchased yet. So if there is an older pre-5e title out there that you want, I would highly recommend picking it up now. And don't forget, there's also plenty of third-party 5e support still out there. And some of that, all of that is better than anything Wizards of the Coast has ever done for 5e product-wise, except for maybe mine, Sifil and Delvin, and my personal favorite, Tomb of Annihilation. Though I know I am alone in thinking Tomb of Annihilation is good. So that's okay, Dale. Nice to meet you. Hopefully you'll subscribe, Dale. That's it. That's about all the energy I have for news because, man, it's been a while since Giving Blood has kicked my ass this time. But, yeah, I had a really bad phlebotomist, so till next time, I'm the OGGM. Please stay safe. Drink your vitamins. Eat your Wheaties. Whatever else. Have a great day. I'll talk to y'all later.